Everybody, welcome into Sports Talk Chicago. My name's Jon Zaghloul. Great to have you here. Channel 59.3 BPOD TV and Roku. Great show for today. The Bears take on Pittsburgh on Monday Night Football. Chances are they might win that game. We'll talk about why in just a moment. Before we get started, make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Jon Z Sports and on Facebook at Jon Zaghloul. And if you want to watch more of these shows, special clips and interviews, all you have to do, search up Sports Talk Chicago on YouTube or go to sportstalkchicago.com. If you want to watch other shows from the BPOD TV network, search up VPOD TV on YouTube. You know, at first glance, we're going to watch a pretty crappy football game on Monday night. Two of the most anemic offenses in football will take each other on, and we'll have to watch on ESPN at 7:15. Yikes. Talk about a bad draw for ESPN. The Bears are the 31st ranked offense in the NFL, averaging 15.4 points per game, but the Steelers are at 18.9. They're 26th. That's your primetime football matchup. Who's ready? You'll have Justin Fields, who did improve last week against an aging Ben Roethlisberger. You'll have a running game from Pittsburgh that can average 4 yards a carry. And you'll have a Bears defense that broke and didn't bend last weekend. You excited? Ready to go? I'd love to break out and sing the Monday Night Football theme. Are you ready for some football? But I digress. It's funny, the Bears actually have a chance to win this game. I don't think they will, but it's going to be competitive. Justin Fields made some great strides last weekend. He really did. I thought for the most part, despite the interception, which really wasn't his fault, it was a particularly flawless game. Game plan was good, had him on the move the whole time, rollouts, designed quarterback runs. Obviously, the amazing run he had, the rushing touchdown where he reversed direction. Kept the Bears in the game for the most part. It was the defense, ironically enough, that let them down, and they lost. I'm not going to blame Justin Fields for putting up 22 points and losing, while his defense gives up 33 to San Francisco, Jimmy Garoppolo. Not his fault. Now the question is, can he improve? Can he build on that game? Had Benjamin Albright on, you'll hear it later in this show. He had some pretty choice words for Justin Fields. He said that Justin Fields needs to get rid of the ball quicker. That's a fact. Has a good arm, had a good arm in college, but also had a great team in college. And Albright went on to say that we're seeing Justin Fields on an island. We're seeing him for who he is at this point, with no team around him. How's he going to do? When the game rests on his shoulders, can he rise up? We haven't seen that yet. A lot of time. These aren't things we have to track, though. We have to look over this stuff as the season progresses and as his career progresses, too. I really think this could be a statement game from Fields. Now, I'm not suggesting the Bears are going to put up 45 points. Fields is going to throw for 4 touchdowns and kill it. No. But he could take care of the football, be accurate like he was last Sunday, rush for a touchdown, pass for one. The Bears will have a chance to win, and Fields will look really good in primetime in front of the whole country. To me, that's all that matters. Win or loss doesn't make a difference here. I'd love to see the Bears win. And if it's not Justin Fields' fault, I am going to be pretty pissed, like I was this past weekend. But at the end of the day, again, it's all about development. The Bears lost a pretty tough game. Their playoff chances are about over. Right now, Carolina has the last seed in the NFC. They're 4-4. Bears are 3-5. They have like 4 teams ahead of them. And when you look at the Bears' schedule moving forward, there's no way they're going to catch up. Still have Baltimore, Arizona, Green Bay, Seattle when Russell Wilson returns, and a couple with Minnesota. How many of those do you think the Bears will actually win? With Matt Nagy back. With Justin Fields started. Probably not many. Maybe a couple. I mean, they faced the Lions again. That should be an easy win. Maybe the Giants. They could win that one too. And maybe one with Minnesota. That's about it. And this Steelers game wasn't supposed to be easy. Before the season, the Steelers were supposed to be much better. They regressed, obviously. Big Ben's been a joke, and teams have taken advantage. That said, they beat the Browns 15-10. They limited the Browns' offense to 10 points. Now, yes, Baker Mayfield's hurt. Don't have their main running backs, but still. They're a ground and pound team. They only scored 10. I'm curious to see how Khalil Herbert does, if he's healthy. Or whomever the running back's going to be, I want to see how the Bears run the football against Pittsburgh. If they can't establish the run, like they have the past couple of weeks, watch out for Justin Fields. It's going to be a scary game if the Bears can only run for 2 yards, 3 yards a carry. Going to have to pass more, put it more into his hands, and chances are that won't end well. Now, the positive for the Bears is the defense has a chance to force a turnover. Big Ben loves to throw picks. Inaccurate, old, never takes care of the football. That's been his whole career, not just this year. Here's your chance to make a play. And I can't believe the Bears had no turnovers, no takeaways from the defense on Sunday. You're facing Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm not saying he's an interceptions machine, but he does his fair share of turning the ball over. You force nothing. They were on their fourth running back. You force nothing. No fumble, no nothing. And you give up 33 points. 460 total yards of offense. It's not going to fly. They have to force a turnover this weekend. Couple of them, really. They want a chance to win, they have to force turnovers. That's just a fact. They do. That's the only way they'll beat Pittsburgh. Force a couple of turnovers, have Justin Fields throw a touchdown or two, run the football. That's how they're going to win. The Bears' winning formula is not complicated. The problem is they don't have the pieces in which to execute. Pretty simple, really. Run the ball for 100 yards or more. Have Justin Fields throw the ball 20 to 30 times and just don't turn it over. They don't need him to be Patrick Mahomes yet. They need a game manager more than anything. And they need the defense to be who they were supposed to be this year or in years past. They started out hot. I don't know what happened. That's how the Bears win. And yet, we see 33 points given up. We see Justin Fields, with the exception of last week, usually turn the ball over. And we see the run game there, but to no avail. The Bears don't score. They just run. They move downfield, but don't score. Has to change. Now with Matt Nagy back, who knows what's going to happen on Monday? I'm actually worried about Justin Fields. You know, he actually made real progress. I would hate to see that go away because Matt Nagy's all back and better. I liked Tabor in that game. Really, I did. Not because of anything specific, but because he let Justin Fields be who he wanted to be. He didn't have an ego. And yeah, of course he didn't. He's a special teams interim. But still, I don't know, to me, it was pretty refreshing to see a coach with no ego let Justin Fields do his thing. And no, was it perfect? No, of course not. Wasn't perfect. Yeah, Justin Fields threw a pick. Yeah, had a couple of incompletions. Sure. Didn't even have 200 yards. Yes, you can complain and find things all you want. But overall, he looked more comfortable, more confident, and felt better in the pocket, in the game. That's progress. That's a good thing. And now, Matt Nagy returns and back to square one, right? The Bears are holding back Justin Fields. Plain and simple. You might say, I'm sick of hearing about this, John, but am I wrong? Haven't you watched these games? I mean, it's so apparent. I'm not saying Justin Fields deserves all this talent around him like he had at Ohio State. No. Not every quarterback gets that. You're given the hand you're given. Fine. But it just doesn't look right. You know, Matt Nagy's gotten in his way. We've seen it time and time again. This whole relationship, this whole thing's going to keep persisting week after week until the end of the year. As I said in my video a couple of days ago, if the Bears are mediocre but make the playoffs, he'll stay. Fortunately, it looks like they won't. And I would hope that brings about some real change now. I'm sick of seeing the guys suffer. I am. I already saw it before. Why do we have to see it again with a different quarterback? Justin Fields may have his flaws. I pointed them out. You haven't liked it, but I pointed them out. There are things he needs to improve upon, 100%. I'm not saying this is all not on him and he's been innocent and great and perfect. No. He has some real issues. Throwing the ball. Reading pass coverages. Holding onto the ball too long. That's a big one. That's the number one. It doesn't help when you have a coach who just doesn't know how to work with you. That's his problem. He has a coach that doesn't know how to work with him. I don't know, to me it's getting really annoying every week talking about this, but it's true. We see it all the time. Probably see it on Monday, too. Sure, there's going to be a moment, a defining moment that I'm going to talk about the next day on a video here about Matt Nagy doing something to Justin Fields. This needs to stop. For his sake, for Fields' sake, it needs to stop. You're going to be facing a really bad offense, like yours. Play competitively, please. Don't have this be a blowout. And don't limit Justin Fields, either. See, here's the way I see it. If you're facing a defense that's only going to score 16, 17 points per game on average, let him fly. Let Justin Fields fly. Don't harness him. Build off last week and be more confident in him. Tell him, hey, rookie, we trust you. Do what you want. Nothing wrong with that here. What do you have to lose? You're not vying for a playoff spot. Facing a team with a horrible offense themselves. Play hard, play aggressive, take some shots, take risks, roll the dice, beat him. Not impossible. Justin Fields beating Pittsburgh on Monday Night Football has a pretty nice ring to it, don't you think? Not impossible. It could happen. My personal prediction, they're going to lose, the Bears. 17-14 is my guess. Could be wrong. I hope I am wrong. Because I really do believe they have enough to get by. They have enough to win. Look at the situation. You're facing Pittsburgh. They are just a mess. Najee Harris, yeah, good running back, averaging 3.2 yards per carry. Ben Roethlisberger on his last legs, a passer rating of 86. Juju Smith-Schuster has become a non-factor, and even Chase Claypool isn't the number one receiver on that team. So all their supposed weapons really aren't weapons. They're just names. For the Bears, you're coming off a great performance from Fields, or one of his better ones at least. If Khalil Herbert's healthy, you have a good running attack. It's up to the defense to get better. But when you're facing such an anemic offense, chances are you will be better. You will force a turnover. I know for a fact they're going to have Big Ben throw a pick. At some point, it has to happen. If that doesn't happen, watch out. Bears aren't going to win. They have to force Ben Roethlisberger to make many mistakes, or at least one, something. They can do that. There is a path to victory, is the point. Easily. You could see it. Writing's on the wall. There's so many small factors that go into it. But that Pittsburgh Steelers offense is a joke, just like the Bears. Difference? Justin Fields is a rookie, better arm, younger, could throw it deeper. More explosive. Run game, better. The Bears have a slight advantage, believe it or not. Even though they score less points per game, in this situation, they do. Question is, can they overcome Steelers' defense, and can they put together a cohesive offensive game plan with that Nagy back? I have my doubts, and that's why I think they're going to lose. That said, it's going to be competitive. This won't be a blowout. It shouldn't be. If it is, well, you'll get to watch one of my patented rants the next day, because this should not be a blowout. This should be a very close, down-to-the-wire competitive game, not high scoring. Pittsburgh won 15-10 over Cleveland this past weekend. That's kind of how this game should go. That's exactly how it should go. Just like that. So, I have to see how it plays out. But just remember, it's a winnable game. And it could be a great growing moment for Justin Fields, for this offense, for this team, really, to knock off Pittsburgh Monday Night Football. This could very well be a bounce-back game for the defense, a better game, more improvement from Fields, and a good run game. Could be the opposite, though. Could be no turnovers again from the defense. Justin Fields having problems corralling the football. Regression. Pittsburgh's defense shining. I have to see how it plays out. But I do know there's a path to victory. And I also know the Bears' formula to win isn't complicated. They've just had severe troubles executing. Thanks for watching today's show here on BPOD TV, channel 59.3 and Roku. Really appreciate the time. Remember, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Jon Z Sports and on Facebook at Jon Zaghloul. If you want to watch more of this show, Sports Talk Chicago on YouTube or sportstalkchicago.com. Make sure you tune in. Great interviews and great shows coming up. Benjamin Albright, Kurt Schilling, and so much more. Really appreciate it. So long. We'll see you soon.